You know, spending time with family, friends, and coworkers.
Yeah, and sometimes that means an office Christmas party and a chance for employees and employers to find themselves in a bad position.
Really bad. But there are ways to keep everyone in the holiday spirit, keep everyone happy and responsible. Faith Whittaker, labor and employment partner at Dinsmore and Shohl, joins us now. Thanks so much for coming in to talk about this. What is a hot topic? We just did a story a couple of days ago about how some companies are really starting to limit alcohol intake at office parties.
That's the number one thing on your list.
Yeah, I guess that would be top of your list.
Sure, thank you for having me. That's the biggest thing is we see in our experience that alcohol can cause a lot of issues. So to try to manage the consumption is the biggest thing. And I've got some considerations for employers. The biggest thing is to think about providing drink tickets and or a cash bar. And also to consider holding the event outside of the actual office. If that's not possible, to hire a bartender. What we don't want are employees serving each other drinks during the party. Also to provide food. It's important to have a good base if you're having any alcohol. And then to have a limit on the party. We don't want endless hours of open bar either.
Well, I know you represent employers, but conversely, what would you tell employees about the party and the alcohol that's available to them?
Yes, so for employees, it's first of all a good idea to show up to the party. I mean, this is a great way to build camaraderie and get to know your coworkers on a more personal level, but to manage your alcohol. Maybe have a limit for yourself of a couple drinks as your max. You know yourself, you know what you can handle, and try to do that. Also, be respectful and try to behave yourself. A good rule of thumb is to think about if you would not do it in front of your spouse or significant other, don't do it at the Christmas party or the holiday party.
Right.
That still opens me up to a lot of stuff.
Should we extend it to your parent or child?
Okay, there you go. Now we're in business.
This is resolved.
In all seriousness, I talk about guest safety as well. Something else important for employers to keep in mind.
Yes, it's a good idea to inspect the facility if you're having it outside of the actual office before, to make sure that it's accessible to all guests, and then also make sure that it has the proper forms of exit in case of an emergency. And then to provide alternative transportation for the guests so that they can arrive home safely, whether that's providing reimbursement for Ubers or taxi cabs, or a shuttle service or accommodations for the night.
This seems to me all tips for a safer and a happier way to interact with your coworkers, have a good time. But is there legal exposure for people if these things are not done?
Certainly. I mean, outside of just even having too much to drink and leaving the party, there could be all kinds of issues for employers in that sense. But also, I think we've all seen a lot of harassment issues lately. And there can be, harassment can extend outside of the actual workplace and work hours. So it's important for employers to review anti-harassment policies prior to the party, and also ensure that employees understand that they have an avenue to voice complaints, whether that's if they actually experience the harassment during the holiday party or witness it.
What are some of the other concerns that maybe don't fall under a heading like booze or harassment?
Sure, there's also some wage and hour concerns. We want to make sure that employees understand that this is a voluntary party.
You're not getting paid to be there.
You're not getting paid to be there. And sometimes you'll see employers make the mistake of having an employee check guests in, for example, or have a specific task during the party. If it's an hourly employee, they need to be compensated for that time.
Interesting.
Never thought about that.
Is the idea of it being called a Christmas party instead of a holiday party, is that a problem, or is that something we sort of make too big a deal of?
It can be an issue because we want to make sure that all of our guests feel inclusive, and not all of the guests are going to celebrate Christmas. So it's a lot of times a good idea to call it a holiday party or an end of the year party as opposed to a Christmas party.
I guess it's important though to remember, in spite of these things we need to be aware of and we need to be on guard about, this provides a unique opportunity to kind of bond with people maybe you don't get a chance to at work, or to advance your own career even.
Yeah, the whole point is supposed to be to build that camaraderie, get to know people on a more personal level, and it's a good idea. Of course, with any fun, it seems comes a little risk. So it's important to take tips and try to manage those risks.
All right.
Excellent.
Faith, thank you so much. That was really good advice, I think, for everybody.
And I'm planning a group outing for my coworkers to go see Star Wars. I'm going to ask you for tips about that while we're in the commercial break. But yeah, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.